Het-Heru. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Ru Nefer. This is Kasak Ma Keparu with another video for you. And in this video, we're going to talk about making contact with interdimensional beings. Sorry, I was drinking some of my success water and I was choking as I was trying to talk to you. And words came out funny. So anyway, if you have not ordered my water, go down to the link below, click on the link where it says Waters of Nun, and you can get different types of water where the water molecules have been specially charged to hold on, because water has memory, to hold on to a mantra. And this mantra in this water is success. So the more you drink of it, the more it'll change the frequency within your body, and you will start vibrating at a frequency of success. We also have confidence, attraction, and wealth water. So go to that website, watersofnun.com. Check it out. Order some water. It's really good. Tastes like regular water, but the water molecules are now energized and charged to bring you success. Het-Heru, Ma'at. So anyway, welcome. I want to say that all of you who are attending to hit that like button. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome, subscribe, hit the subscribe button below to get notifications of when I go live or when I upload videos, and consider becoming a Patreon supporter. As a supporter, you get access to exclusive videos on doing rituals, divination, creating amulets, the whole works. All right, it deals very deep with the esoteric in those videos. So you should become a Patreon supporter. It's going to help benefit you, and your support is greatly appreciated. Also on May 25th, I'll be releasing my second edition of the new Capital Ankh ebook, The Keys to Manifesting Your Reality. That book goes deep, deep, deep. If you have not got ordered your copy, get your copy right away. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, I'm touching on stuff that people don't even know about that's going on in this fourth dimensional realm. Some stuff that I never tell you guys because I can't talk about it because I don't want to disappear tomorrow. If I started talking about some real stuff to you guys, I don't know if I still be here. Who knows? They may say, okay, Kasak has been under the radar enough. Let's get him now. He's now talking about the real deal. So also, we have a group. And if you want to, you can become a member of the group, and we talk and go back and forth. It's a Slack group. I don't know if you're familiar with Slack or not, but it's a really cool Slack group. And everybody there, we talk, we have fellowship, and you learn a little bit more about magical practices in that group. Okay, so the link will be in the description box. I will make sure I put it there for you. And so you can take part in the group there. Sorry, my attention is swayed for just a second. I'm just responding to something. Just a second. Okay. All right, cool. So I'll make sure I put that link. Let me see if I can get that link right now. Yeah, let me see if I get that link for the group right now. See if you guys... no, that's not it. Give me 1 second. One comedic second, please hold on. Technical difficulties. All right, let me see if I get it. Gosh darn it, no. I'll have to find it for you and get it. But anyway, that's just to speak on that real briefly. It's very important that you have fellowship. And one of the things that really I was able to speed up my magical practice and magical power was that simply I was able to trade secrets with other magi's. I was able to really get in there and talk with them about what worked for them, what didn't work. And that's important because you'll see when you have that type of fellowship, others will find things that are little secrets here and there, little hacks in magic, and they'll share that with you, and it'll save you a lot of trial and error, if you understand what I mean. So make sure if you don't want to fellowship with my group, there's other groups out there you can fellowship with, but I think that's extremely, extremely important. Even like programmers, computer programmers, coders, they have, what do you call it? They have groups that they intermingle with and communicate with to help them become better coders. So as a magi, you should be involved in these groups to help you become a better and more powerful magi. And sometimes, for example, I invoked a demon, and the demon came into my house and would not leave. So I immediately went to one of the groups I was a member of, and I asked some of the witches there, do they know of any spells or herbs that can cast the demon out? And they were able to help me to deal with that demon. Otherwise you would be stuck. And this is the information age, the internet age. We now have access to information at our palms, and basically nothing should be out of your reach. And you should be communicating and getting this information. And a lot of times when individuals ask me questions about things and I don't know them, I'll Google. I'll say, okay, let's Google this and get the information, or let's find a group and get this information. But enough on groups. All right. Let's talk about the real deal here. So I want to talk about something that happened to me today, real quick. I got into an accident and it was kind of jarring. I was a little unnerved. It shook my person. I was like, oh, wow, this accident. And I think it was the first time I ever gotten involved in one. And it was very unnerving. Well, anyway, one of the things that I'm going to give you a big secret here. I want you to get a pen. This is going to be phenomenal. All right. The secret to life and about staying peaceful or being at peace. Amen. My high priest, I remember working with him and talking with him. And no matter what happens, he was a very calm individual. And I said, you know what? I want to be calm like you. I want to understand how that happens. And it took me a long time to figure it out. And I actually figured it out in an indirect way when I studied martial arts. Now, let me explain about that. When I went into these martial arts, I went into a very secret Japanese form of martial art where it encompassed what they call as kujikiri, which is Japanese black magic. Because I was really interested in learning the meditation, the hand postures for the kujikiri. It said it can make you invisible. It can invoke like energy to make you like physically stronger and all of that. So this information was it was coveted and it wasn't taught to everybody. In fact, there was one grandmaster out of Japan that Makasami, who taught it. And you had to go through a long process in order to study with him and learn these secret Japanese black magic. So I got up in the ranks and I learned it. But there was something more important that I gained from that experience. And I remember talking to my instructor when we were fighting, and because you were learning the martial arts as well. I learned how to fight really damn well. Broke my ribs, broke my wrists, broke everything on my body. And it was very physically demanding. But I had chicks though, man. I had women. They would come, they would see us in the physical fights, like the mixed martial artists, and the girls loved it. I was like had the muscles and everything. I was beating guys up. And I remember this one girl. She was what you would consider in the Western world beautiful, and her and I were dating. And I, at the time, I didn't know she was interested in me, but we ended up hooking up and going out. But when you're in certain circles and you're a star, because I was climbing up the ladder in the ranks, then you have access to certain things. And some of them are women, some of them are the secrets of the arts. So I was training with my instructor, and I hope my mate doesn't hear I said that too. But anyway, she's not here. All right. I was training in the arts, and I got hit real bad in the head. And this is my instructor from years. Hit me in the head real bad. Knocked me out, cold on the floor. I got up, and I was innocent at the time. I didn't know anything, but I knew one thing: get up and fight. Get the hell up and fight. I got knocked out by a 5th degree. And all I knew to do to handle the situation was to get up and keep fighting. He looked at me and says, "Do you want to bow out?" I said, "No, I don't want to bow out. I'm going to stay here." Now, I didn't know if he was going to kill me or not. To be honest with you, I did not know if he was going to kill me or not. He could have done it if he wanted to. Him and I had differences. We were at odds. But I said, I'm sticking this out. Now, that's not the lesson I want to tell you about, because that's is actually a good lesson about life. Life is going to kick your ass, but you better get up. You better get up and fight. I don't care what happened. I don't care who's wrong or right. Get up and keep going. Ooh, the Illuminati. The Illuminati is killing us. The Illuminati is doing this. Yeah, they are, but so what? Keep fighting. My boss is bad. The boss is terrible. Yeah, so what? Keep fighting. This is a fight for your life. So I wanted to know the secret of being at peace, being at Amen. And my martial arts instructor looked at me and he said to me, okay, you're going to keep fighting? You're going to keep getting hit? And I said, and I'm going to keep getting up. And he says, and you got the secret. You got the secret to being at peace. You see, when something rattles you, don't give yourself time to ponder what happened. Don't give yourself time to role play the scenario that just happened. Keep moving. Ask for more. Okay, is that all you got? Is that all you got, life? Because I can take that. That was your best shot, life? Was it really? You know what I'm saying? Because your nervous system, if you stop and you sit there and you ponder what is happening, you role play it in your mind, it's going to affect your spirit, and it's going to shock your spirit, and it's going to stay with you. But if you keep going and some more of those things come your way, but you still keep going, you don't give yourself time to be afraid. You don't give yourself time to feel pain. This is the secret. Because when you start doing that, you'll look back upon everything and you were like, wow, I really handled that well. There wasn't anything that really disrupted my peace. But when you allow yourself to stop and you just are like, why me? Why is the world doing this to me? Then you lose. Then you disrupt the Amen within you, the God within you. But if you keep going and don't think about the pain, don't think about the fear, don't think about the trepidation, just keep moving, what you're going to find out is that it's not that big a deal. What's going on is not that big a deal. It really isn't. Because if it was a big deal, you'd be dead. Then that's a big deal. Okay? That's a big deal. Then have to mummify your body. Sebek will have to perform the opening of the mouth ceremony. Yeah, you'd be in trouble. But no, you're all right. The problem is that when something happens, boom, your body's put into trance. That means your spirit is open. The subconscious mind is open. And when that subconscious mind is open, in Scientology, they know this very well, it creates what they call an engram. And an engram is basically a pattern. What we call in Kemetic culture is a conditioning. That conditioning is detrimental to you because what it does is it shocks your nervous system and it makes you afraid. You ever saw this analogy of a person getting on a horse, riding the horse throws them off, and they always say, get back on the horse. So true. But the trick is get back immediately. Don't wait. Get right back on that horse. If the horse throws you off again, get back on the horse again. And what you're going to find is that your nervous system is not going to get terrorized. It's not going to have all this anxiety and have a nervous breakdown as you think. You'll be all right. You'll endure it. You'll build up thick skin, as they say, and you'll learn to be at peace. That's the only way to do it. You see, you have these Buddhist monks that go into the mountains and they meditate on transcending their emotions. That does not work. You see, Geb is the earth or Gaia or terra firma, whatever you want to call this third dimensional plane. All right. You need the challenges. You need those things. Those challenges will get you to a state of peace, amen, that nothing can disrupt. You'll get there. So welcome those things in your life. Now, don't get sadistic and say, yeah, more, I want it all. No, you don't want to do that. Because you as God, man, or woman will manifest more. But if it happens, keep moving with the flow. Keep moving. When I started my career, I was a project manager working for advertising agencies, and I would produce commercials. I would produce, online videos and things of that nature. And the environment is so hectic and so stressful. Oh, Kasank, they need that portfolio by 3 o'clock. Wait, Kasank, we don't have that prototype. Kasank, we're going to production in about 5 minutes. Where are you? And you're pulled in so many directions. And that's the I-Ching, the 51st hexagram. And it talks about being centered, dealing with all of that. Yeah, let it come your way. But don't let any one thing disrupt your peace. Allow it to come to you, but bounce off. So that's all I have to say. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about this because it leads into something else that's just as important. Okay. Now, I think it was Tuesday. I was mixing some of my herbs together. I said, well, I'm going to take these herbs and then I'm going to do a little meditation because I know I when I do that, I kind of go into a different realm and I gain insight and wisdom. Well, something weird happened. I'm on the set of the production. We're shooting a commercial. And I go into the break room and I sit there, and suddenly I started to drift off, which is not uncommon. I mean, I'm up for days at a time with no sleep. And at that point, the herbs had their effect had already worn off. And consequently, I found out that they stay in your blood system for a little bit longer than I thought. So let me just say hi to the Magi out of respect. Het-Heru Aset, Namaste, mind over matter. Haru El Ra, Het-Heru, color of dreams, Namaste. Shana Miranda, Het-Heru, excuse me for not pronouncing that correctly. Magical indigo adult, Namaste. Sekhmet goddess, Hetep. So as I was drifting off, Haru El Ra, Het-Heru. As I was dozing off, my consciousness went someplace else, and I felt that happen. I felt that, you know what I mean? It went someplace else, and suddenly it was like I was watching something. I was in this room, and there were these beings there, and they were doing something, and they were dressed rather oddly. And it was the strangest thing because I've never encountered these beings before. And they weren't aware of my presence. And I have a hunch I was astro projecting my consciousness there, my soul there, and they couldn't see me. But they were going about their business and they were very busy. And these beings really looked strange. They had elongated mouths and they were talking, and I couldn't figure out what they were saying. But they seemed to be very busy doing something. And I was conscious of what was going on. And I said to myself while I was in that state, am I dreaming? Is this an hallucination? And then I said to myself again, I said, no, this is too real. This is real. And it was astonishing. It was like, and I don't talk to you guys about, all the times I've astro projected and some of the entities I've met. But in this instance, I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, well, it's a product of the herbs, or it's your imagination. Your mind is making these things up. And I kind of wanted to clear the air on this because those beings that I encountered were real. They were solid. I could see them. I could like almost feel them if I can touch them. They were real. This was not a product of my imagination simply because the things that they were doing, I could not imagine or think of. And I want you to know that clearly. And I want you to understand this. When we're fighting for our lives in this third dimensional plane, because we're getting our butts kicked by the Illuminati, by the cabal. We need help, and the help will come from these interdimensional beings who are benevolent. These beings are here to help us. All we need to do is reach out and make contact. Now, I've heard of these beings and saw a description of these beings, not these ones I've seen, but different beings, by people who have taken DMT and ayahuasca. And they were saying they were encountering elves and all these other beings. And I have never done that. And one day maybe I will decide to do an ayahuasca, take that medicine and do a retreat on that. But right now I'm perfectly fine as an alchemist on my own, mixing my own herbs. But and I don't take any anything that's what do you call it, hallucinogenic herbs or whatever. I don't involve myself in that. Stuff that I take is all natural. It's over the counter stuff. You can get it at GNC Vitamin Shop. I just mix some things that I know that'll really relax me. So I want you to understand that we don't have to fight this battle on our own, because the ruling elite, they're already contacting malevolent, evil, interdimensional beings that are giving them help. But they're, like I said before, there's these benevolent beings that are out there, and they're full of love and full of they're altruistic. They want to help us and come in contact with us. They want to give us information. They want to give us downloads. We just have to start reaching out and making contact with them. Now, you can do this on your own, getting into a relaxed state, what I call is that kind of twilight state where you're consciously awake, but falling asleep, in between state. You can do that on your own and make contact with those beings. You don't need to take a special herb, because your body naturally produces DMT. And in fact, a lot of times when I come home from a shoot, I know that I'm very exhausted. So that's when I'll do that special type of meditation where I'll astral project and encounter different beings. Now, this was different because these beings I have never seen before. They were very unique. And the things that they were doing was interesting. And I'm not going to relay the details of all of that. But I tell you, they were real. They were solid. This is not people's imagination. All right. And many scientists now are validating this, that these other, they have validated that there are at least 12 dimensions. All right. So 11 dimensions of, I believe it's 11 dimensions of space and the 1 dimension of time. All right. Because space and time are inseparable. So this is something that we need to explore, and it's not evil. It's not scary. Once you do it and you come out of that state after meeting these beings, you're going to see things in an entirely different perspective. You're going to be more full of love, more full of oneness, and more at peace, knowing that you're not the only ones on this planet. Do you feel me? You're not the only ones on this planet. See, we're lied to, and we're told that we're not only the only ones on this planet, but the smartest beings on this planet. No, there are beings that are 10 times smarter than us. We're so polarized and left brain thinking we're stupid. We are. And I want to tell you a little bit about that, how we don't understand things that operate in life. Because things happen to us, and we will say, well, why did that happen to us? Or why is this delay going on in our lives? You've got to see things from a right brain, higher mind perspective. Let's say, for example, you're walking to work. You're about to cross the street. There's a traffic jam and you can't get to work. You end up getting to work 15 minutes late. All right. Well, you don't see the bigger picture, because that 15-minute delay probably saved you from having an accident or having something majorly go wrong, or having to do a bunch of work because your boss saw you and asked you to do all this stuff. And that 15-minute delay kept your boss from seeing you and asked someone else to do the work. You see, when you look at things from a holistic perspective, you will see how there's a connection between everything, and certain things are set up to happen so that other things can happen in your life. And I always talked about not defining things as bad or good, because you don't know how the outcome will be in the end. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have a mate that's carrying you through hell, okay? And he's just an evil person. But in being with that mate, not only do you learn that lesson to be at peace because he's carrying you through hell, but being with that mate, when you break up with him or her, you go to a bar or you go to a club or you go to the beach or you go to a movie and you bump into someone else who you have a relationship with and get married and live happily ever after. So what I'm saying to you is one thing leads to another. One thing has to happen for another thing to happen. You get financially bankrupt, which puts you in a certain state of mind and say, I'm never going to let this happen again. And then you move forward and you become a multimillionaire. But being bankrupt that was a step that was a prerequisite. It had to happen in space and time for you to get to the point of being financially prosperous and successful. Hence, successful. Wow. Okay, commercial break. But we are so quick to say, my mate is messed up. My mate is evil. No, that situation has to come into play for another situation to come to fruition that could be beneficial to you. You've heard of people winning $1 million in the lottery, and they say, yeah, I won $1 million. That was the worst thing that happened to me. It destroyed my life because I spent all that money on stupid stuff, Lamborghinis, women, cocaine. And in the end, I got in debt. It destroyed my life winning lottery. So that seems like a positive thing, but then it turned out in a negative way. This is why you have to understand that there's a connection between all things. You see, Western world has us seeing things in piecemeal and compartmentalized. They have you look at things, this little thing in your life, and they say, hey, that is the defining moment in your life. No, it's not, because that piece is connected to this piece that's connected to this piece, which will come to fruition in 2 years. But in order for that prosperous thing to happen in 2 years, to blossom in 2 years, you first have to deal and go through this piece to get here successfully. But they don't teach us that. They don't teach us the connection between these things. All they're interested in saying, separate, outside world, person, separate. You're an individual. You have the right to do anything you want. You're not connected to anyone or anything. You're an individual and you have the freedom to do whatever you want. No, you don't. We all are connected. And if you want to attribute this to the butterfly effect, you can do that. But there are certain things that are set up in your life that have to happen before other things can happen. In my classes, I teach you meditate for reality transformation, or as Vendine, the quantum physicist, says, in reality transurfing, he calls it reality transurfing. When you start to meditate and seeing the world that you want for you to manifest your reality, the first thing that you're going to start to see happen is what we call as synchronicity. You're going to start to see strange things happen. You may be thinking of a cherry watermelon. Well, there is no cherry watermelon, but then suddenly your friend starts talking to you about a cherry watermelon. And you're going to go, well, that was just odd. I was just thinking about a cherry watermelon. Why would you just say that? That's the universe letting you know that these things are now that you want, your goal, your objective in manifesting your reality is starting to come in place, because it's shifting things, moving things, and connecting things so that you can get to where you need to go to achieve your objective. And when you see these synchronicities, it's a key indicator that what you want is coming your way. And it's a very good sign. And sometimes if you're good at reading these things, you can read them as omens, and you can know when there's some bad luck coming. And this is what our ancestors did. But I want you to understand that these individual pieces are all connected. Your life is connected to other people, places, things, time, space. So when one thing happens in your life and you get into an argument, ask yourself, why was this argument necessary? What is it leading me to? What is it connected to? Don't look at it as an isolated individual incident. Try to see the connection. what it's connected to, what it's leading you to. Look at the bigger picture, because there are two divisions to us. There's the lower mind, which is the left brain, and there's the higher mind, which is the right brain. The higher mind can see the bigger picture. That's why when you go to an oracle, for example, and you ask, should you marry this woman? Should you marry this man? The oracle can see the bigger picture. The oracle can see that in 3 years, that individual will become a drug addict. The oracle can see in 3 years that that woman will take all of your credit cards and max them out and make you broke. But the 3 years up to that point will be kisses and love. You're so beautiful. I love you. I love you too. You're beautiful. Yeah, I love you too. So all that for 3 years. Then suddenly, at the end of the 3 years, when things go south, you're like, I didn't know she was like that. And you're like, well, I didn't know he had that side of him. But the oracle can see that. The oracle knew that that was going to be coming down the road, but your lower mind can't see that, because the lower mind sees just pieces, just one isolated incident in your life. So I'm trying to get you to see the bigger picture here and see how things are connected, and stop just labeling things and saying, oh, this is bad. Why did this happen? No, that thing is setting you up for success, and you don't even realize it. Had my accident, went to the oracle, 35th hexagram, I-Ching, 35th hexagram. Oracle says, out of this will come success. I was like, wow, all right, this is a setup for something good. I don't know what it could be, but I trust the oracle. My mate, she's fine, she's sexy. She says, we should get into a spiritual union. I'm like, I don't know, I don't trust you. You gonna seduce me. You're a wicked woman. Go to Oracle. Oracle says, she's spiritually correct. Get into a union with her. And I came back to her. I said, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Because, trust and believe the oracle will not lead you astray. It won't. Because the oracle is the word of God. The oracle is the mind of God. The mind of God is Tehute, Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus. You know why they call him Trismegistus? Thrice born, thrice great. So I want you to take a couple of things away from this, all right? I want you to take a couple of things away from this. The first thing I want you to know is what I talked about earlier was exploring your peace. How do you explore your peace? You have to have a challenge in your life to be at peace. Those Buddhist monks who go up on the mountains and meditate for years trying to be at peace will never be at peace, because they have no challenge. The Dalai Lama has no challenge. He has people waiting on him hand and foot. He can never understand what your life is like. You need a challenge to bring you to peace. And you need multiple challenges. And when those challenges hit you, move on. Don't stand still. Keep moving on. If you stand still, your spirit will go into a state of shock and create an engram or a conditioning pattern that'll keep you from progressing in life. I know a gentleman whose son got into a fight at school. And he told his son, go back to school. And he got beat up in school, actually. And he told his son, go back to school. And I want you to act normal. Go back to school. The child was afraid. He says, I was humiliated and I'm scared what the people will think. Doesn't matter what they think. Go back to school and just deal with it. And he said he would talk to the principal. And him and I had a discussion about that. And I didn't think he should go and talk to the principal at that point, but there are other ways I thought he could handle it. But anyway, the point of the matter is, you don't run from things. Allow those things to come at you and deal with them. Okay. Now that was the first thing, and that's the way we get used to. We allow our system to get used to the shocks that are coming our way, and eventually, when those shocks keep coming, they won't affect us. We'll just be at a state of peace, and they'll just bounce off of us. Now, the other thing is working with these interdimensional beings. Now, I want to say this because this question is brought up many, many times, many times. Well, I don't want to go into trance and meet these evil spirits. I don't want to do that because I'm afraid. Well, if you are vibrating on that level, that evil level, that corrupt level, then when you go into trance, you will meet those evil spirits. But trust and believe, I don't think you're vibrating on that level. Okay. So I think that the beings that you will meet will be loving beings who will want to help you in whatever situation you're facing. So don't worry about it. Magical Indigo says, well, someone told me I'm doing it to my subconscious mind, that I attracted the attacks because of something from my subconscious mind. And then I fixed it, and then no one will attract. Well, we all have things buried in the deep recesses of our subconscious mind that we need to purge. And this is why you're in spiritual culture. This is why you're in Kemetic culture, because Kemetic culture is one of the best ways to purge yourself of negative conditionings or patterns or engrams. All right. And through the process of the Tree of Life meditation, that's how we do it. But I'm talking about really, really evil beings. And these beings there's no way you can attract those beings unless you're a member of some satanic organization and you're vibrating and around that type of energy. So we're not going to even think about that. All right. That's not going to be in our sphere of awareness. We're just going to have light shine, be positive, and work with those beings that come your way to help you. And don't forget, you have the ancestors too. The ancestors will come your way. So maybe you don't contact interdimensional beings, but you'll have an ancient ancestor. And we call that a Shepsu. Shepsu will come your way and give you guidance and help you in the situation. Because your lineage, don't forget about your lineage. That is important. Those ancestors are waiting for you to make contact with them. They're in the ether. They're in the inner planes. Okay? Don't forget that. That's important. So lastly, I want to say, if all of you could donate if you can to the channel, your donation will be appreciated. And that's all I really wanted to touch on and talk about was these entities out there make contact, move out of our left brain thinking to where we only see third dimension, the 3D realm. There's other dimensions out there that we can explore, an infinite number of dimensions, but science thinks there's only 11, but whatever, okay? So let's start exploring that so that we can get assistance to change this planet's vibration to one of peace and love. Right now, we're trapped in just conflict, war, political strife, death, destruction, famine. This is what this planet is about right now. We need to move it out of that, move it into the light. And we can only do that by starting with ourselves and working with other beings out there. We're not the only ones on this planet. Remember, I am Kasank Ma Keperu, son of Ma and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful Het-Heru. And until my next broadcast, Amin Ra.